2025, and the new reality is that people in their mid-50s, late 50s, are the...
That when you get to be over 40, corporate America is done with you.
I am on my way to my second interview for a retail store, which is really funny because
I got laid off from my job in August due to budget cuts. Budget cuts really was, I worked at a nonprofit. It was really...
In today's challenging job market, finding a new job isn't easy for anyone, but two groups are struggling the most. Can you guess? The first one is young graduates just starting out, and the second, those who are over 40 years old. And in this video, we're going to take a closer look at what people over 40 are facing, and I also share my personal thoughts on the issue.
Something really bad is going on with hiring right now. So let me know if this has happened to you. You go to a site and you're trying to apply for a job, and then you go to the drop down for your graduation date and you can't select anything earlier than like 1990. So if people usually graduated like 21 or 22, I think that puts you at basically you cannot apply for this job if you're like 57. They literally will not let you apply. And guess what? You cannot discriminate against people over the age of 40. So this is illegal. You can't do this. Now, when I reported that this had happened, the company actually reached out to me and said, actually, this was an accident. We were copying over an internship position and putting it in for this new head of product position. But let me tell you, so many people said that they have seen this all over the place in their job search. These are not all accidents. Have you guys seen this kind of blatant ageism in your job search?
This is something many of you have experienced firsthand. Some companies are automatically rejecting candidates once they reach a certain age. And this isn't just speculation. I came across the lawsuit involving Workday, a major HR software company, which has been accused of using AI hiring tools that filter out applicants over 40. And it doesn't stop there. I've heard countless stories from people who only started getting interview calls after they removed their graduation year or birthday from their resumes. If that's true, and I believe it is, then age discrimination in hiring isn't just real. It's becoming more common in today's job market. Sadly, many companies aren't even trying to consider qualified, experienced candidates simply because of their age.
I feel like there's not enough people talking about this. Why are those of us in midlife not talking enough about how hard it is to get a job at this stage in the game? Here's a little backstory. I got laid off from my job in August due to budget cuts. Budget cuts really was, I worked at a nonprofit. It was really because my previous manager, who was about 15 years younger than me, felt threatened by any type of a successful older female. So she systemically went through and fired or laid us all off one by one. I saw it happen for the 2.5 years I was there. Ended up being me in the long run. So I have been unemployed since August of 2024. Now, originally, I was super gung-ho looking for jobs. I was on Indeed, I was on Idealist, I was on LinkedIn, and I would submit resume after resume after resume, and had maybe a handful of interviews. One, even a second interview, ghosted. Every single time, ghosted. Some of them, I would just submit the resume and like 10 seconds later, get an email back saying, thank you, but we've decided to pursue other candidates. Hello, you haven't even met me yet. My sister went through the same thing a couple of years ago. She's 4 years older than me, and it took her 2 years to find a job. And she really felt at the time like it was ageism. She was seeing people with less experience getting hired for these positions and really felt like it was because she was older, even though she had tons of experience and would have been a better fit for the job. And I didn't really think about it all that much because it wasn't happening to me. And now that it's happening to me, I'm like, oh my God. The people who are getting these positions that I'm hiring for are all like 20 years younger than I am. And even though I have more wisdom, more maturity, more supervision and management experience, more nonprofit experience, more life experience, the hiring departments do not really seem to care. That does not seem to matter. They want somebody young, somebody eager, somebody more energetic. I don't flippin' know. But ageism is real, and ageism in the workplace is real. I have now experienced it twice, once with trying to find a job over the last almost year, and once from getting laid off because my 15 years younger than me boss couldn't handle the fact that I was successful at this job and older than her. She felt very threatened.
I recently came across an article that mentioned something quite alarming. Nearly 90% employees over the age of 40 say they experience a discrimination in a workplace. What that really means is this: many workers over 40 are being passed over for promotions, denied opportunities to grow, and overlooked simply because of their age. And when they do lose their job, whether it's due to layoffs, restructuring, or other reasons, they often struggle to find new employment. And even if they have the right skills and qualifications, why? Because companies are labeling them as overqualified. And for those who manage to get hired again, many are being offered significantly lower salaries that don't reflect their years of experience or expertise. And it's a tough and unfair reality that a lot of people over 40 are facing.
If you're over 40, you should prepare to be a consultant. I know that since all of the layoffs are now hitting the tech industry, that a lot of white-collar workers are finally starting to understand what I have known for a very long time, and that is that when you get to be over 40, corporate America is done with you. There is a very good chance, the older that you get in your corporate job, that they are going to find a reason to get rid of you. Once you're over 40, especially once you're over 45, and if you're nearing or over 50, you are a short timer. This is not your grandfather's economy. This is certainly not even your parents' economy, where people could get a job and stay in it for 20 or 30 or 40 years and retire and have a pension or whatever. This ain't that. There's a lot of people who are like, why can't we do anything about ageism? We got to get these companies in trouble. That's not going to happen. The number of job postings that are fake, that they're never going to hire somebody over 40 for, you can't prove it. There are select individual cases where people have been able to prove ageism is the reason that they either didn't get a job or that they lost their job. But it's only when a person who works for the company says or does something really fucking stupid, like say, well, you're getting old, so we have to let you go. You cannot combat this. You can't fix it. You can't change it. And it's been like this for a really long time, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And I can tell you, as someone who has had 3 career layoffs, my second one at age 48, and my last one when I was 54, it's not getting any better. You need to have a plan starting at age 40 for what you're going to do to make money if you lose your job and you're never going to be able to get a good paying full-time job again like the one that you had.
I think it is sad that so many people over 50 are still struggling financially. After working 30 to 35 years and contributing to society, but they should be able to enjoy some comfort in the later years. But in today's economy, it feels like people have to work until their last breath. I don't get why retirement is set at 65 or even 66 and they're getting higher. What? I imagine in the future, if they gonna, raise the level up to 70, 80, 90, 100, are you kidding me? We're gonna have to work to die, to our death? Okay, so get back to it. When the average person is only lived to around 75 years old, we all deserve time to actually enjoy our life, not too boring and study and then work to the last area of our life. We like a machine. We were the machine or programs to do this whenever a baby is born to this life. So, we cannot enjoy our life at all. And, we only live once. So I don't want to end up my life like that. We all deserve time to actually enjoy life, not just work and then retire for a few short years. If it were up to me, I set the right time and age as only 55. 35 years of work is more than enough. That is just my opinion. If you see it differently, feel free to share this in the comment section below.
It's 2025, and the new reality is that people in their mid-50s, late 50s, are the new unemployables. Like, I am fortunate right now that I have a gig right now, right? But if I lost it, from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing and from all the comments I'm getting on my posts, it's like, if you get blown out of your job, if you get laid off, fired, downsized, whatever it is, aged out, which is a very common thing, it's almost impossible to land another job at your current level. You can almost kiss it goodbye. You might be able to, grab part-time gigs or low-level jobs, but nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to hire somebody who's 57, 58, 59, 60 years old for any kind of an important job. They can say ageism is illegal all they want. They can make believe that it's kumbaya and we love everybody and we're all equal. And no, it doesn't work like that. Younger people, first of all, think that older people are not smart. They're not quick enough. Maybe they can't type good with their thumbs, whatever it may be. They don't think that older people are smart or equipped to handle work in the new world. That's just the way it is. They think they're smarter. They want somebody younger who's maybe has more energy, is going to definitely cost less money, and they're going to go that route. They're not going to hire you or me.
Here's something nobody tells you about losing your job after 55. I'm going to tell you. My name is Mary. I lost my job at age 58, and for the first time in my life, I was worried about my financial future. It's almost impossible to find a job that's going to pay you what you're worth when you're 55 plus. You're too old, you're too expensive, you're too experienced, you're overqualified. Have you heard those things?
Some companies assume that older millennials and baby boomers aren't tech savvy, won't fit in with younger teens, the Gen Z today, or aren't worth investing in because they're close to retirement. But that thinking is flawed. If you want your company to grow, you need experienced people who can guide younger employees and help build a stronger team. That is my opinion. Like, you need all of the generations to work together to have the best performance.
I am on my way to my second interview for a retail store, which is really funny because I have 3 college degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in communications, I have a master's degree in childhood education, and I have another master's degree in teaching literacy. I have 15 years experience in education, and I am burned out from it. And trying to find jobs in education services is super competitive. I'm talking about months of interviews, rounds of performance tasks, only to sometimes get ghosted or don't get the job.
I've noticed that many people over 50, no matter their background, often end up in retail, gig work, or turning to social media after losing their jobs. A couple of years ago, there was a trend of people over 40 starting YouTube channels, but I don't think most of them did it out of passion. They did it because they had no other option. Now on TikTok, there's also many people in their 40s and 50s share advice, doing marketing or building personal brands. It's inspiring in a way. It shows there's no age limit to starting something new, but it also makes me wonder if this is what they picture for themselves. Good for them if they're making money and being their own boss, but it's sad if they're doing it just because they were forced to. If you're in that age group, I'd love to hear your story. And once again, thank you so much for watching my video, and I love you to see you in the next video. And don't forget to give me the subscription button right now here. Thank you.